NBA training camps are officially underway. We're a few days away from the very beginning of the NBA preseason, and although it's a very shaky schedule considering the fact that the Lakers and the Miami Heat only get 71 days of rest from the last time they played in an NBA game to the opening tip-off, a lot of other teams are ready to go, and I'm personally pretty excited considering the fact that some of these teams haven't played for 9 months. But a lot of these teams are also not necessarily done retooling, and that includes the Lakers. So what's going on, guys? Your boy Mike here. Guys, I got my hands on a PlayStation 5, and I'm giving it away to a member of my notification squad that's also subscribed to my channel. All you have to do is subscribe and turn on my notifications, and you'll enter for a chance to win a PlayStation 5. I'm going to announce the winner in a week. If you want an additional entry, then go check out my gaming channel, TheFlightMike TV, where we go ahead and upload career simulations of various players in the NBA and do other NBA 2K content. And if you want to go the extra mile, obviously this has nothing to do with the giveaway, but to support me as a creator, then check out our channel memberships program. Now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? Guys, it's a pretty well-known thing at this point that LeBron James and Anthony Davis aren't really expected to play in the opening game for the Los Angeles Lakers. As a matter of fact, they're not even going to play much in the preseason at all, because if you think about it, they don't need to warm up after they've been playing all these games going up all the way to the NBA Finals. Now, I'm sure they're going to get some time here and there, but for the most part, I expect their minutes to be extremely limited until the latter part of the season. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys know that there were a lot of transactions that were made for the Los Angeles Lakers this year. They brought in Dennis Schroeder after trading Danny Green to the OKC Thunder, which in turn would get flipped over to the Philadelphia 76ers for Al Horford and some picks. This would net the Los Angeles Lakers Dennis Schroeder. They were able to poach Montrezl Harrell from the Los Angeles Clippers, and he's rumored to either be a sixth man coming off the bench or potentially starting for them. I'm not exactly sure what the starting lineup is, and Frank Vogel typically likes to tinker with the starting five throughout the season. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope just recently got a 3-year, $41 million contract extension himself using the Los Angeles Lakers bird money, which is a well-deserved raise. And that's before we get to the fact that both LeBron James and Anthony Davis both signed contract extensions, which essentially takes the Los Angeles Lakers out of the Giannis Antetokounmpo race, which, by the way, we're going to make an update on the Giannis Antetokounmpo situation right after this video, so don't worry, I got you guys if you're a Bucks fan or a Giannis fan. There was some news that came out about that as well. Now, a very key component of the Lakers offseason and another player that could potentially start at the center position for the Los Angeles Lakers is Marc Gasol. And of course, I get this a lot on my Twitter account. People have been asking me, yo Mike, wasn't Marc Gasol a Laker before? No, not necessarily. The Lakers drafted Marc Gasol in the 2007 NBA draft, but that was back when Marc Gasol was playing in Spain. They held his rights, and the moment they had the opportunity to pounce on his brother PAU GASOL, they traded Marc Gasol, which, by the way, he wasn't the featured part of the trade. The trade was literally just like a boatload of players, and Marc Gasol was just a throw-in. You know, he just happened to be good. He didn't end up, it's not like the Grizzlies were like, oh, Marc Gasol, the trade is going to center around him. They didn't, it was kind of like a throw-in. He was just an additional asset, because otherwise, if you're the Memphis Grizzlies, you're not necessarily going to trade PAU GASOL for Kwame Brown straight up. So Marc Gasol is now a member of the Los Angeles Lakers, which means there is a very interesting piece of news we got today. And this is official, by the way. And I don't know how logical it is or how reasonable it is, so I'm going to let you guys let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this as I provide you with some footage to complement what I'm talking about here as well. Because there was some info today that came out in regards to Marc Gasol's brother, who the Lakers did trade for 12 years ago, PAU GASOL. To give you an idea of how old PAU GASOL is, he is the 2002 NBA Rookie of the Year. So when PAU GASOL comes out and says, hey, I want to play with the Los Angeles Lakers. I want to team up with my brother Marc. That would be very special. And this is the direct quote from Pau Gasol. There is meaning and history there, Pau Gasol said of the Lakers, and this is according to Zach Lowe of ESPN. I'm not going to lie, it would be very special. And now that my brother Marc is there, it would be even more special. But I'm not in a position now to be very demanding. I don't have 10 offers on the table. Now, Pau Gasol at the time of this video is exactly 40 years old. He spent parts of 7 seasons with the Los Angeles Lakers after spending the opening part of his career with the Memphis Grizzlies. He won Rookie of the Year with Memphis and won 2 championships with the Los Angeles Lakers, teaming up with the likes of Kobe Bryant for 2 championships in 3 attempts when they made the NBA Finals 3 times, before eventually the Lakers would trade for Dwight Howard and try to run an offense with Pau Gasol, Kobe Bryant, Dwight Howard, and Steve Nash, which didn't eventually work out. Now, Pau Gasol and Marc Gasol already made some history because they're the first sets of brothers to have ever played for the Los Angeles Lakers throughout their entire careers. But if you just look at this footage I'm showing you, Pau Gasol doesn't necessarily look like the type of player that would get much playing time for the Los Angeles Lakers. I would love to see him in a Laker jersey once again. I think that would make a beautiful story considering the history here. But in my opinion, I do think this is a little bit of a long shot. Now, bear in mind that Pau Gasol regardless wants to play again. It's not either, hey, Lakers sign me and pretty much gift me a contending team or I'm going to retire. It's more like, hey, I want to come back and play basketball again. And if the Los Angeles Lakers don't want to give me an opportunity, well, I could go and play elsewhere overseas professionally. And chances are he would play in Europe if he doesn't get a shot in the NBA. Bear in mind that back in June, Pau Gasol called playing for Barcelona an attractive option back in June. Although I do think it's admirable that he's working out to potentially return to the Los Angeles Lakers. If you ask me, what I think the only realistic thing that could happen with Pau Gasol and the Lakers is him returning in an assistant coaching role to the Los Angeles Lakers. And I don't even know if the Los Angeles Lakers would really even make that much sense for him because of the type of offense that they run. It's a little bit different than the offense that Pau Gasol ran during his tenure with the Los Angeles Lakers. Back then, in the latter part of the 2000s, the triangle offense is what the Los Angeles Lakers would run, which is an offense that is kind of obsolete now in the modern NBA. Nevertheless, there has been successful coaches that have been students of the Phil Jackson coaching tree and have been coached by Phil Jackson. You look at Steve Kerr, for example, with the Golden State Warriors. He's carved out a pretty good coaching resume for himself. But nevertheless, I don't know of any players that are currently in a coaching role that could really bring Pau Gasol along. So if you ask me, the odds of this happening are very, very slim because I don't really know of championship teams of literally signing a player just because they think it would make a nice sentimental story. But hey, I hope I'm wrong. I think it would be awesome if he came back and it would put a smile on my face. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of this. Aside from that, I'm your boy TheFlightMike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.